would show you Agent Wardley's report. Again, we don't, sorry, that's somewhere, if you could just, jury, and that's consistent with that.
4 inches.
And did you inspect, when you did you inspect the entry in the quill pen or damage to the top behind the quill pen at all?
I looked at all, but I did not run any angles.
And did you ever talk to Agent about her?
Yes, sir, I did interview Agent about her work.
What was that?
Back the first, second week of at the lead laboratory. I can get an exact date if I look back through my.
I don't need that.
Okay.
But are you being?
I am. Yes, sir.
How much have you been thus far, and how much you get paid before it's all said and done?
Well, I'm a bad, so if something my friends and family would tell me, but retainer is $25 and $4 an hour. And when I added it, it was up over 100 hours. But I off mutual agreement with my share allowed me to do that carefully for around now. So I'm not charging from a little bit before last week on.
So $100.
I have expended roughly, if I take off, I have to use personal for work to do. So 75, 80 hours I used of time.
Okay. $7,000.
Well, I spent way more than that running up. I probably
Now, back to
but I'm going up next week.
40, and if you'll go to slide 30, I think it's the right number. So this is
I couldn't.
and three degrees.
Is that accurate? No, I've got to move inside. I don't see for 25 idea this.
If you in the where along the way you would be able to determine the height of the muzzle of the gun. Get confidence in the aim.
I don't know. I'm not making.
No, I mean, would you have those things to know how high the muzzle is off any point along that line?
Give me a fixed point, and I knew that I had a strategic fixed position. I'm not sure I could run a tape and know where they were at.
Matter was for a person, it's going to be at a fixed spot. Right?
That's the way angles work. Yes.
Thank you. Now, on this this Pharaoh, and Pharaoh is the head of Pharaoh, and it is the state of the technology and scanning.
It's the new thing, use a sketch pad and a pencil, but I do understand the technical part of it.
And would you agree with me that the feeding room would be about right in here? You want to come down and point out where the feeding room
I believe it's
right there at the end of the.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
And I guess not the measurements, but you know roughly how far this line, this angle would be away from the structure.
I have no idea, Mr. Griffin.
You've not done that math.
No, sir, and I saw no need to. Applications are up here by the shed.
Okay. All right. Now on the I want to go back to Paul and his injuries, and just the first I'll talk about your analysis. Critical of y'all have been critical of Mr. Palmbach and Dr. Eisenstadt, but under your analysis, the shot of the gun was
Yes, in my opinion.
understand Paul, your analysis is Paul on this side,
Which shot, Mr. Griffin?
the last shot.
The fatal shot?
Yes.
Well, as I mentioned in my report, I would assume it's closer to Paul because I've got 6 inches of light switch. Look at the photograph of that building. There's a over the wall. And 6 inches below that, I've got one satellite drop of blood, and then it's fairly clean. Outliers, but fairly
The door is swung open, so Paul is closer to this side.
Well, I would have to be Paul because it wouldn't match up. Shoot here if it was over here. It wouldn't match up either way. Whether it was down in the head or up in the head, it still wouldn't match up either way if Paul was against the end. As I demonstrated, well, we demonstrated me and Harpootli and we're kind of dancing up here, but I believe he come out with his head down, his droop to the left side, and he come this side with his shoulder just outside the room. Yes, sir. About like that.
Okay. And then the shooter is off to Paul's left,
Yes, sir. From this side. Yes, sir.
and the shooter has a shotgun, right?
Absolutely.
And he is some 2.5 feet away. The barrel is 2.5 feet away.
That's what Dr. Reamer said. Yes, sir.
What do you say?
I don't believe it was that far away, but like in my earlier testimony, I'm not going to contradict a pathologist. She knows about the human body than I do.
All right. But you don't mind contradicting Dr. Eisenstadt?
Well, because I've been to the scene and I reviewed all this evidence. Yes, sir. That is
Okay. What we're doing. So if you say, let's take 2.5 feet from the end of the muzzle, is that where we're talking
yes,
about?
sir. That is.
And then you've got the back shooter up, hold the gun, and I guess you got it at 45 degrees, right?
Well, as mentioned a dozen times so far, I don't know how long this shotgun is. Okay, but it would be here, and I don't know where he's most probably behind this this wall because all is for him.
Shooter shooting left, you think?
Well, I don't know if he's left-handed, Mr. Griffin.
Okay.
I don't know that part.
Right.
But that angle would match up despite all the.
That matches up.
Yes, sir. That would match up.
Now tell me, in that angle, and this dowels the gun, where's that shot shell going if it ejects?
If I'm pointing to the room, it could go inside the room.
Well, you just raise it up to under your eye.
But I'm behind the gun. That's going to push the weapon a little bit. Ejection port's on the right, so the shell can easily end up.
Standing there, and the end of the puzzle is 2.5 feet away.
Yes, sir.
You're saying in the room
The door is wide. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
45 degrees.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It's doable. Yes, sir.
And under your analysis,
Your analysis.
your analysis.
Oh, my analysis. Okay. I'm
Your
sorry.
analysis.
Yes, sir.
We're not there. We're not there. We're still in court. The going up through all chest, jaw, out the top of his head.
Yes, sir.
2.
No, shot, dry lock, 3. Sir.
And you, and I think you 50, 156. I can remember.
Literature says 150, like 150. So I'm going to correct.
Okay. And I think 60 to 70 that were found in body, at least.
I have no reason to doubt that. No, sir. I didn't go 1, 2, 3, 4 and count extra, but I believe that.
Okay. And Doug, if you'll please, defendants exhibit 188, which is in evidence. And folks, this is going to be a still exhibit, so please go to your monitors. And that was defendants 193 as soon as we're ready. So you recognize this?
Yes, sir.
This door,
Yes, sir.
and this part of the door is blood spattered,
Yes, sir.
and this and that here.
There's hair, a bone, and there's some other.
Okay, and you think where is the relation to the door at this?
You would be where I showed you, off of 135-ish, take a few days. So you can make that. You can look. You can see the directionality in the blood and tell which direction it's going.
And coming out of the top of his head would be 70 steel pellets.
Yes, sir. That's for to get out.
And you one indentation.
That's a little you can see paint damage. Is what but I said the S got dropped from that. But if you zoom in on that, you can see where the paint was just disturbed around that indentation. But one proof can go back the other direction, Mr. Griffin. It doesn't take a lot.
This is not under seal. 188, please. And then on the indentation.
There's several if you, I mean,
All right.
you're cutting in on that one, but
So You say there are more defects on the door?
Yes, sir.
Did you document any defects that you observed on the door?
I got them in a photograph. I can show you.
Okay.
What other documentation did I need to do it to verify that that's the same door?
No. I'm just talking about other pallet marks.
There are marks on there. Yes, sir. You just cut that one down, but if you go up a little, you can see the little indentions right there in paint.
Right back.
Of the hinge, right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay.
There's several there.
And then you see this pellet here.
I did not see that, but I'm vertically challenged, and I wish I could have looked up that pellet, but I did not that pellet. But I'm glad, Mr. How you say I'm found that.
Your shot angle, how would a pellet get there?
It's really, I mean, cone shot pattern. It's a cone.
So this is his head. You think?
Oh, it come out of his. And the floor in the feed room probably also come out of his head. They off that door, the OSB feed room.
Shoulder, neck, the top of the head, and up.
Well, it didn't turn around back out the top of his head.
You said 8 to 10. You just earlier is blood.
If something and one within distance down, he's back at you, it's going to be 10% of what's in front of the gun is back at you, and a lot of the literature supports that.
Well, were you this is still one.
What?
Photo.
Yes, sir.
Now, this blood spatter down here, where you say, what's your explanation?
What do you mean, what explanation?
What is it?
That is medium directional blood spatter?
From what injury?
Brain in the sidewalk be my best guess, but that's not high velocity.
Now, you understand what Mr. Palmbach said was that that's more consistent with Paul being shot from the top of the head, going out his shoulder, and producing that.
I also understand Mr. Palmbach said there's no damage on shot pellets. You can't one without the other. I disagree with that.
So you believe this is from Paul's brain landing
Either
where?
his brain landing on the sidewalk, bouncing off the door, or either his body fluid. That's low velocity, low to medium velocity. That's not high velocity. That's stomping puddle of blood or something moving in a puddle of blood. That's not projected blood like you'd have a millimeter or less in high velocity blood spatter. That's large. It shows some directionality. It's coming from the door frame or right outside the door frame. It's large. It's way too large, associated with the exit hole of a gunshot.
So I understand his brain landed feet outside.
I do understand, Mr. Griffin, but I also know that for and I know it works and body fluids back down to earth. You one or the other, that fell in existing blood, that is low velocity. That's associated with some in a puddle or that's not associated with a gun or high speed.
You agree this is a void area here on the door?
I wouldn't agree in that area because I don't see the outline of shoes, I don't see the outline of implement or the outline of anything else. I would say there's more concentrated blood over here on the side opposite the hinge, but I wouldn't necessarily agree with the void area. I see downward spatter on the door right. For it to be a void, that would have to be blood. I do, yes. Not compared to the. You're correct.
Now,
but there's something there, Mr. Like in that spot. We'll see a little bit. If you're standing there and I see you with blood, there's going to be perfect bloodless footprints there. That's why I'm not in this void.
Unless it goes up and comes down.
Gravity brings it down. That is, if your person had time to move, whatever, I guess that could count for.
Came down.
And do what?
Hit the top of the door and then bounced out. Came down. That would account for it. Would it not?
You're there, but that force is up. That's why that's why you've got the demarcation line on the containers. That body fluid was directed upward with force.
Okay. And the you mentioned there's no footprints here. Was any effort made to illuminate footwear impressions through any protein enhancers?
I didn't see any of that, Mr. Griffin. If they did, I saw no evidence of that when I went back to the scene. I think there for.
I would have picked up perhaps stained footwear impressions you can't see with the naked eye, wouldn't they?
May have, if one had stepped in and left a footwear impression.
There's a shooter somewhere, inside or outside, correct?
Yes, sir. I agree.
And there's no determined footwear impressions of the shooter.
Griffin, I don't know the process. I know they have some footwear impressions.
Down, Doug.
But I don't know how.
Well, they certainly should have gone further than they did. Would you agree with that?
I only judge what I would do, and sometimes I wouldn't. If I saw that I had something that I needed some detail, I would use chemicals, but it just depends on the situation.
Kenzie, I'm going to show you what we marked as defendants exhibit 97 and 196. And I'll ask you first, 190, do you recognize that? The picture outside the feeder door?
Yes, I do.
And I would move 97 this time without objection, I believe.
Without objection.
Are you in both of them?
Yes, sir.
Any objection to either?
No objection, Your
They're
Honor.
both admitted.
All right, and 196. Dr. Kenzie, back to the pop marks on the concrete outside the feed room door.
I don't know, Mr. Griffin. I don't know what they are.
Should they be?
Yes, they could be. Could be from a wash also.
You have these? So what you're seeing is 97, and then you zoom in there. Can you, Doug, go to 190. So those could be from a pressure washer, and those could be from number 2 birdshot, correct?
I don't have to listen everywhere else, just weathered.
Last few killings, contact wounds to the head.
With this execution or contact, but I was opposed to someone else.
So let's get it right. 36
3 dozen total, sir, and 2/3 of them probably self-inflicted, so 12.
signs
With one eyewitness.
to the forehead.
Yes, sir.
Of the 36,
I was self-inflicted. I did get a shotgun.
so 36 shot.
Couple too, but yes, sir.
And the and how many involved for 2 birdshot?
I don't recall. I had some. I don't know if it was number 4, 8, 9. I don't know.
Back to that.
Was probably or the side or the one about in the front.
And any of them to the brain, evacuate from the skull cavity.
In the brain come out usually here. I'm going to say I probably have some, but definitely, like I said earlier when I described it, it looks like it goes away. It's real that it's just not something you can quantify. I mean, it's just it's the only way.
Have you ever worked where a big brain has been evacuated, Paul's in this case?
Yes, sir. I had, and tongues also. I have, yes, sir.
With the self. Talking about gun
Yes, sir.
and describe those as execution style killings.
Yes, I would, if you put it on somebody's head, side or the top, I would describe it.
Well, would you Paul's murder here execution style?
In the context of someone X, yes, sir, but it was on the top of the head.
And that and there was no signs of struggle. You agree with that?
I saw none. No, sir.
That it caught by surprise.
I've said that was for his arms being down. Or something was real cool with.
And even under your analysis, the shooter would have blood, blow by blood, correct?
I believe they would. Yes, sir.
Matter between and Mr. Palmbach as to how much blood would
Well, I mentioned in my report, get closer to the muzzle of the gun, I think proportionally it's going to increase. You know, when I said 8 to 10%, that's what most literature says. That's stock. You get proportionally closer to the muzzle end of the gun, that's going to increase because you're down at the business end where those pellets are coming out doing damage.
and in the case you're talking brain matter,
Yes, sir.
blood,
Yes,
and getting some skull fractures,
yes, sir. That's possible.
as well. And lastly, have you where one person brings a high assault weapon that has a and a shotgun with maximum capacity, maybe 3 shells.
Well, I have most murders where the available weapons there were used, but I can't tell you from memory the other ones.
Logically, it would make sense that you're going to go kill people and you have a high-powered weapon with a high-capacity magazine that was all you need to do the job.
Well, if the weapon's available, if it's there and it's available, and something that I put a lot of, I'm probably going to use whatever's available.
Here we know 2 weapons available. There's a 12-gauge shotgun and a AR-15 style,
Yes, sir.
and both were used.
Yes, sir.
There was capacity in out to kill game.
Well, scenario, shotgun is what I would want at night with moving targets. A young man doesn't take a double off buckshot to the left. So I don't think like that. I don't know, but in the dark, I'd rather that rifle.
Course and build. You demonstrated Mr. Palm's shot from the with a moment ago.
Yes.
Now, that was Palmbach never put anybody inside the way y'all demonstrated in his testimony, did he?
That is the way I understood it.
Well, I mean, he.
And this is where I would be, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. So if you'll come here and then let the dowel.
Let me bend down. Don't bend down.
No, I don't. Come on. No, I don't. So if you're coming out of the threat, so get down.
Down.
Yeah, get down. Almost to the ground. Yeah, you get down further, but you probably. But the shot to the head as it's coming. Boom.
He'd have to be twisted.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
But that's fine. That's fine. But Mr. Palmbach, they passed in the doorway.
He might have said those words, but that was my inference. There's a boy there, and when he's in the picture, his hands here,
Right.
To be Paul's hand. So that's
Okay. Did you know he was in the picture there, demonstrating what your angle had to be to make it work?
well. I wasn't in the my angle.
I understand.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
All right. Dr. Kinsey, you have the opportunity to speak with Dr. pathologist that actually examined Maggie Paul, correct?
Yes, sir.
I had an opportunity to observe and listen to the doctor. I think it's Eisenstein who was the person that did not examine Maggie Paul, correct?
Yes, sir. I have.
You've also had an opportunity to go to the crime scene and observe the feed room, observe the areas where both Maggie and Paul were murdered, correct? Brain matter, tissue, the defects in the door, everything in context for what happened, correct?
Yes, sir.
Dr. Reamer or Dr. Eisenstein conclusions about the trauma to the which one of them is more consistent with what happened at the crime scene with your expert background?
Well, I'll start by I don't know one of them from paint. This was my first time ever meeting Dr. Reamer, but I'm up are consistent with hers. I vary a little bit on the distance. Like I said, I'm not going to argue with a pathologist. I'm not that kind of doctor.
Real quick, you differ a little bit on the distance of what?
A fatal shot to Paul, I believe it was a little bit closer, and I can't count for that still. But other than that, our and minds are fairly consistent.
But that would not change, that difference of opinion would not change your conclusions either way.
They would not.
For the sake of correct, let's assume for a moment the angle of entry and the direction the defense posed were accurate. Are there other variables that the defense expert accounts for that could change the height of the shooter?
Well, as I demonstrate, positioning, distance, height, the way you're holding the weapon that could place those car cases there, it's nothing uniform about it. As I said, it's dynamic.
So the shooter is running around and the victim is moving, correct?
Yes, sir.
It's chaotic.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Sir, I would imagine it was.
No way to know unless there how the gun was being shot, where it was being held, the angle. There's no way to know that.
I have no way of knowing that.
You were asked about how much you're being paid here. Do you recall hourly rates that the defense experts were when they testified?
I do.
Can you go ahead and tell me what those were?
Some were $350 an hour, some were $650 an hour, and I think $55 a day. I'm not.
Pictures you just put in evidence. I got them right here. Thank you. Okay, I'm sure it was marked as state 197. Do you know when the picture was taken?
I have no idea. Yes, sir.
I'm showing you it's been marked as state, Defense Exhibit 197. When that picture was taken.
I have no idea. No.
Was there anything about defects that stand out to you? Just concrete defects? Does that photo tell you anything?
Nothing. No, sir.
That's all I have.
Anything further? Thank you. Further witnesses by the state.
Your Honor, in the rebuttal case, the state rests.
The state has rested. Going to have you go to the jury room. Please do not discuss this.
No, thank you.
So the we've got a time today with the jury view. We're going to take a recess for me to confer with counsel.
Be seated.
Okay, that's the end of all of the testimony. I'm not sure whether or not another motion or matter needs to be adjourned. At the end, so to discuss also the jury. Um,
Just want to new all made concerning the verdict. So it's that's
yes, sir. So that's what I was suggesting. Um, any motion. You have jury. You bring- Ladies, we have now heard all of the testimony and received all of the evidence in the case, and we are essentially done for the day. But when you return tomorrow morning, we're going to have an escort take you to the subject property cell to have a view, jury view of the location. And I will be there as well to ensure things are good. But I need to instruct you to how it happens and give you this instruction. And that is that you be taken to the scene of the alleged crimes, and while you are on your way to the scene and from the scene, you're not allowed to discuss the case with anyone, including the court. And you're allowed, while ask any questions of anyone who may be there, including law enforcement personnel or any other court official. If you have any questions, you can only ask me. Still not heard closing arguments, have not been so the way it's expected to go. You will come, have the jury review. After the jury review, return for closing arguments. Then I instruct you as to the law that you are to apply. Then you deliver an effort to reach a verdict. But it's absolutely essential that you understand that you're in there to view the scene. Now, it has been a year and a half or more since June 7th of 2021, since late and have changed, most likely have changed. The season of the year, just circumstances as the property is concerned. So you have to take that in mind and consider that. but still same location, and I've determined that it would be better to you to be able to observe the everyone has been talking about. We'll do that tomorrow morning. So we'll prepare to leave now. Have you go back to the jury room and talk with the bailiff for a moment, and you'll be just for the day, and I'll instruct the personnel to take you directly to the scene, the designated time tomorrow morning, 9:30. Do y'all get here before 9:30, like 9 o'clock? So, but you may be 9:30 cents. Apparently, pretty early. So how that works. So we'll go to the jury room now, and we'll prepare for the day, and we'll see you all after the view tomorrow morning. So if you could go to the jury room. Okay, the scene will be secure, and the law enforcement will distract, interfere with the jury. I'm going to administer an oath to the people who will be transferring the jury, bailiffs, deputies, whoever they are. Danny Gregory, if y'all will come forward now. Danny Gregory, Ruben Carter, Bill and Taylor Flynn. All right, I'm going to give you all a note. If y'all can stand, and I'll administer the oath.
Taylor Flynn.
Daniel Gregory.
All right, if y'all hands, please. That you will keep the in the time to escort them to the property on Moselle, or at Moselle, and you'll return them to the jury room. That you will now allow no person to speak to them, including yourself, while you have them in custody, unless the court otherwise gives you permission. If you accept that, very much. The jury plan is to send the jury review. When they meet in the morning, I intend to go, maybe the clerk or one two of the court folks, but we'll go there prior to the jurors, prior to them coming here. So any questions about anything? Okay, very good. And Mr. Pope, let me speak to you just a second. I think it was Mr. Pope, right? Here's discuss George. Anything else before we get to the I want to say adjourn to 9:30, but adjourn to 9:30. We need a reporter. Not,
with him. You will be back here by what time?
10:30,
Going to be here at 9:30?
before 30. We're going to figure all that out, but may not be back exactly 30, but I'm going to shoot for 10:30. It may be 11 o'clock.
Yes.
Maybe 11:30.
Yeah.
About that.
It's soon not.
And I don't know, That's when we get back, really.
If I'm at Moselle, the jurors, and they're not 25 minutes to get there, they're going to an hour, 25 minutes, so that's about hours total. I just,
We'll say 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock. We're going to
when charging,
argue, charge, deliberation tomorrow.
right? Righty then.
Very good. And whether we deliver will depend on what time argument. And